Hello everyone, welcome to your online class of Python. So today I am going to discuss about traversal of a list. Traversing a list. Traversing is basically a sequence, or you can say a process to access each element from the list, either it be a string or a number which is stored inside the list as an element. So traversing is basically related to looping, you can say. It is very easy to do you can say access a list by using a loop function, and we will be using for loop here to access the each element of the list. So let us begin with the example first of all. So students, I have opened the Python shell in script mode, and now I am going to show you that how we can traverse a list. It means how we can access the element of a list by its index position and by a particular character. If you want to print it as it is, then how we can print it. So for printing the list by using the for loop, we need to define a list first of all. So I have defined here list by the name L, and then I am using the square bracket, and I am defining the character Python, and then N. You can see that I have written the Python string, but I have written it as an individual element inside the list. So now my list is created. For accessing the element of the list, I will write here for loop, the variable name, in membership operator, and then the list name, which is L. Now I will write here print A. So now how it will execute and what the output comes. So when the control will come to the first line, it will create a list which will be containing this 6 elements. Now the control goes to the next looping line, and it will read for A in L. It means loop variable A in this loop will be assigned each element at once, one by one. So suppose the loop execute for the first time, so that time from the list, the item which is the element which is present in the first index, it will be stored in A, and it will print P, and when the second time the loop will execute, it will print Y, and so on. It will print the whole list items. Now let us execute this file and see what the output comes. Is it coming according to the expectation or not? So you can see that it has printed Python and printed in different lines, because P is read first and it was stored in A. By the statement print A, P is printed, and then again the loop goes here, the control goes here, it has read the second element, and then Y was printed, and same way it has printed the all elements of the list. Now if you want to see that at which index which element is present, and if you want to access the elements of the list from its index position, so what we will do, we will use the range function. And for using the range function in Python, you have to define the length inside the loop when you write. So suppose my string is only L is equal to Python, and now I am using the length function here. I have defined the length variable, and by using the length function, I have defined the length of the list. So I have written length equals to len and then L. So what it will store the length which is 6. Right now I can see that my list is having the 6 characters stored in it, so the length will be 6 obviously. Now I have written for A, and I will not use L. I will write here range, and then I will write length. So what is the length which I have calculated? Whatever length you have calculated, it will be stored here. And now I have written print A. Now students, if you will write here only print A, all the index will be printed here. Why and how? Let's see. Now when you run this program, the control goes to the first line, the list is created containing 6 elements. Alright. Now in the second line, the length of the particular list is calculated. Done. Now in the third line, when the control goes, it has initialized A as a variable in range length. So here length means the index will start from 0 to 6. First time A is storing the value, the number which is 0. It means the 0 index. So as you have written print A, so 0 will be printed, and when the second time loop will execute, the value will be updated by 1. so 1 will be printed, but we have to print the elements also with each position. So we will write here comma, and then we will write here list A position. So it means it is going to print the position, and from the list it is going to print the index which is 0, and then the item of the 0, the element which is present in the 0 index will be printed like this, list A position. So it means list 0 position. So what will be the element in the 0 position of the list? It will be P first time, and when the second time the value of A is updated, so it will be 1. So it means at the 1 position of the list the element will be Y. So this is how it will be printed. Let us execute and see what the output comes. Alright, so you can see that the output has come here. Now at the index 0 we got the P character, at the index 1 we got the Y character, and so on. So when the loop will execute, first time the value of the length is starting from 0, so the value of A will be 0, and then it will be incremented by 1, and it will go till 5 position, which is giving us the N as an answer. So you can see that I have printed here index and the value or the element which is stored in that particular index. Alright. Okay, so now let us see that how we can add or sum the element of the list and print the output. Now suppose if a particular list is defined which is containing 5 or 6 integer elements, so it is an integer list. I am defining the list here by the name as n, and then I am defining the list containing 4 or 5 elements. Alright, so 4 elements I have taken here. Now to add all those elements we have to take it from its index position. So in that case we have to use a for loop to take all the elements one by one from its index position and add the value of it. Before that, for executing the loop we need the length of the list. So I am writing here length function equals to len and then n. So it will give me the length of the list. For using the loop function I will use for I in range, and then I have written here length, then colon. So for adding the each element, as we have printed earlier, that if I print here the the value of I position, then we have to write like this ni. So it will give me the you can say the element from its given indexes. So if I want to add all those elements, I need a variable wherein I need to store the value when it is added, when 12 and 23 will be added. So I am defining here a sum variable, and I will assign the value 0 to it. I am writing inside the loop that sum equals to sum plus ith position of n, and then when coming out of the loop, when all the elements will be added, I will print sum of list is, then I have written sum here. So how this will be executed? Let's see that. Alright, so when the control will go to the first line, when you will execute this, run this program, so a list is created which is containing 4 integer elements. Alright, now we have calculated the length of the list, so the length of the list will be 4 here. Now when the control goes here, it will initialize the value 0 to the sum variable. Now when the loop will start for I in range length, it means the value of I is now 0, 4. So the index 0 is here in I position. Now I have written sum equals to sum plus ith position. So what it will do, it will add the value of sum which is 0 plus, and then the value which is present at the ith position of the n. N is the list here, ith position is 0, so it will add 12 at the first time. Alright, it will not go out of the loop because right now the loop has not got false, it is true. So when the value of the loop will be updated, the value of I will become 1. So now the value of sum is 12 as it is added. So the value of Now list, which is n, the ith position is added. So here the ith position we got is 23. The first index is here. So 23 will be added. Now it will become 35. This is how it will keep on adding, and when the loop value will become 4, as the upper limit is excluded, so it will get false. All the 4 elements will be added, and then after coming out of the loop, the control will get the statement to print the sum. So sum will be printed. Now let's execute this program and see what the output comes. Sum of the list is 147. So like this we can add the elements inside the list. You can go ahead with the integer and float values both. Alright, and you can access the elements which are defined as a string also from its index position by using the range function. That's all for today. We will start working with the list, different functions of the list which are used with the list to make the accessing of the elements very easy. I'll show you that in the next video. Till then, practice these things at home, and if you have any problem you can get back to me. Stay safe. Thank you so much.